I grew up in a really wonderful family in all over Utah actually, but we ended up in northern Utah. I'm in a little farming community called Lewiston. And so right now I'm up at Utah State in Logan, and let's see. So what is it like to be me? So I remember one time when I was going through the coming out process, when I was writing on an anonymous blog, and I wrote that there were two things I felt that were most fundamental to me, and those two things felt like they were in contradiction, and that was my identity as a Mormon and the fact that I was attracted to men. And I just couldn't make these two things, I couldn't reconcile them. And that caused me a lot of pain throughout my entire life. Like, being gay was always my deep dark secret that I didn't tell anybody, and I thought that I always really believed deep down that God would make it all okay. That if I was faithful enough, if I did everything the right way, that God would make it all okay. And I didn't know what making it all okay would look like. I thought that maybe my attractions to men would never go away, but I'd be able to marry a woman, and that would be okay. Or maybe I would have to be celibate, and that would be okay. But the one thing I never really considered was questioning Mormonism. That was never really on the table for me. I remember one time when I was in high school, when I was at work once, and I started thinking, like, what if I left the church and came out? And it was, even just the thought of it was just emotionally devastating to me. I couldn't really process that. And so a little bit after my mission, when I started questioning the church, when I started really questioning what I wanted from life, it was really emotionally difficult. It was extremely trying. And I think I like to pretend like I've come to a conclusion. It makes me satisfied, but I really honestly haven't. And so I ended up, like, I stopped going to church, and I mean, right now I really don't believe in the truth claims of the church, but the community and the people are extremely important to me. And I never really want to have to choose between being gay and being Mormon. And so where I'm at right now is I feel like I've kind of made a preliminary choice. I've kind of chosen to distance myself from Mormonism, but I definitely feel like doing that takes something away from me. It takes away, like, my community, the rituals I engaged in every week my entire life, and it's really difficult to find things to replace that. I've definitely got a great community of friends right now, but I don't want Mormonism to be something that leaves my life. And yet, at the same time, Mormonism is so frustrating to me. You know, I miss church and I go back and I'm angry. And so I think that, like, my experience of being a gay Mormon has been one of just deep complexity. Like, no matter what I think for a minute, I think the opposite a minute later. And so it's been really trying, because every single part of it has so much nuance and so much complexity that you can't even wrap your mind around it. I mean, I spent 23 years of deep introspection until I finally was like, okay, I think I'm gay. You know, like, it took so much thought to be able to, like, get to the point where I could even say something definitive about my sexuality, and then start rethinking my faith, that it's just like, it took me so long to think through those issues to the point where I could even, like, get a grasp on them. And I guess sometimes it feels like I still don't have a grasp on them. I really don't know. But I think that the most important thing for me has been learning to become okay with complexity and becoming at peace with contradiction. Because the thing, like, when I used to think of those two competing identities in myself and thought of them, like, as if they were at war, I thought it was this crisis that had to be resolved. And I think at times, like, it still is a crisis inside of me from time to time, not nearly as much as it was before, but I'm much more at peace with that crisis and realize that the contradiction is a vital part of my identity. And that contradiction really helps to make my life more rich and fulfilling, even though that sounds kind of odd. I never would have thought that, 5 years ago. I would have thought that, oh, if only I wasn't gay, then I could be perfectly happy. But I'm really, really grateful for the complexity that it's added to my life, because it's made me realize that life for everyone is complicated, not just for gay Mormons. And I think that the most important thing to me that Mormonism taught me was to mourn with those that mourn. That's always what it comes back to when I think of my mission experience, when I think of what being Mormon means to me. It's to mourn with those that mourn. And when I think back to my own history of emotional pain or my own history of faith, I realize that I don't even understand my own reasons for mourning. I don't really understand my entire process of pain or my entire story completely. And so it really helps me, relating to or approaching to others. I realize I can't make any judgments about what anyone does, no matter how much I want to. I really can't. And so that's something that I'm really grateful for. That I guess the process of learning to become comfortable with complexity and being okay with contradictions and realizing that my own story is too much for me to understand. And so other people's stories, I really can't say anything about them. So that's what I have to say, I guess.